I say, "Hello, I'm looking for a new shirt."
What do you say if an employee offers to help you?
I say, "Yes, please. I need a shirt for a family dinner."
How do you ask for a certain color?
I ask, "Do you have this shirt in black?"
How do you ask for a different size?
I ask, "Do you have this in a larger size?"
What can you say if the shirt looks too big?
I can say, "This shirt is a little too big for me."
What can you say if it feels too tight?
I can say, "It feels a little tight around my shoulders."
How do you ask where the fitting room is?
I ask, "Excuse me, where is the fitting room?"
What can you say after trying on the shirt?
I can say, "I like the style, but I'm not sure about the color."
How do you ask for another color?
I ask, "Could I try the blue one instead?"
What do you say when you decide to buy it?
I say, "This one fits well. I'll take it."
How do you ask about the price?
I ask, "How much is this shirt?"
What if the price tag is missing?
I ask, "Excuse me, could you check the price for me?"
How do you ask if there is a discount?
I ask, "Is this item on sale?"
What do you say if you want to pay by card?
I say, "I'd like to pay by card, please."
What do you say if you need a receipt?
I say, "Could I have the receipt, please?"
What can you say before leaving the store?
I can say, "Thank you for your help. Have a nice day."
Very good. Now imagine that you are buying groceries. You have a short shopping list, but you cannot find everything. You want to ask an employee for help, compare prices, choose fresh food, and pay politely. These simple questions can make shopping easier and less stressful. John, how do you ask where the milk is?
I ask, "Excuse me, where can I find the milk?"
How do you ask for fresh bread?
I ask, "Do you have any fresh bread today?"
What do you say if you need 6 apples?
I say, "I'd like 6 apples, please."
How do you ask about the price of fruit?
I ask, "How much are these oranges?"
What do you say if something is too expensive?
I say, "These are a little expensive. Is there a cheaper option?"
How do you ask if a product is available?
I ask, "Do you have any more of this rice?"
What do you say if the shelf is empty?
I say, "I can't find this item. Is it out of stock?"
How do you ask when it will be available again?
I ask, "Do you know when it will be back in stock?"
What can you ask at the checkout?
I can ask, "Could you please put the bread in a separate bag?"
What do you say if you brought your own bag?
I say, "I have my own shopping bag. Thank you."
How do you ask for help carrying something heavy?
I ask, "Could someone help me carry this to my car?"
Good. Now let's practice ordering food at a restaurant. Before ordering, people usually greet the server, ask questions about the menu, choose their food, and explain any special requests. Polite expressions such as, "Could I have?" and "May I get?" are useful in restaurants. John, what do you say when you arrive at a restaurant?
I say, "Hello, we have a table booked for 2."
What if you do not have a booking?
I say, "Hello, do you have a table for 2?"
How do you ask to sit near the window?
I ask, could we sit near the window, please?
What do you say after receiving the menu?
I say, thank you. Could we have a few minutes?
How do you ask about a dish?
I ask, what is included with this meal?
How do you ask if the food is spicy?
I ask, is this dish very spicy?
What do you say if you do not eat meat?
I say, I don't eat meat. Do you have a vegetarian option?
How do you ask for a recommendation?
I ask, what would you recommend?
What do you say when you are ready to order?
I say, we're ready to order now.
How do you order a chicken sandwich?
I say, I'd like the chicken sandwich, please.
How do you ask for fries instead of salad?
I ask, could I have fries instead of salad?
What do you say if you want water?
I say, could I have a glass of water, please?
How do you order something without onions?
I say, could I have it without onions, please?
How do you ask for extra sauce?
I ask, could I have some extra sauce on the side?
What do you say if the order is taking a long time?
I say, excuse me, could you check on our order, please?
What do you say if you receive the wrong meal?
I say, excuse me, I ordered the chicken sandwich, but this is the beef sandwich.
How do you ask for the problem to be corrected?
I ask, could you please bring the correct order?
What do you say if the food is delicious?
I say, everything tastes wonderful. Thank you.
How do you ask for the bill?
I ask, could we have the bill, please?
How do you ask to pay separately?
I ask, could we pay separately?
What do you say when leaving?
I say, thank you. The food was excellent.
Now imagine that you are at a busy coffee shop. You want a simple drink and a small snack. The employee may ask about the size, milk, sugar, and whether you are staying or taking your order away. Listen to the questions carefully before answering. John, how do you order a coffee?
I say, could I have a medium coffee, please?
How do you ask for milk?
I say, could I have a little milk in it?
What do you say if you do not want sugar?
I say, no sugar, please.
How do you order a sandwich too?
I say, I'd also like a cheese sandwich.
What do you say if you are taking it away?
I say, it's to go, please.
How do you ask how long it will take?
I ask, about how long will the order take?
What do you say when your name is called?
I say, that's my order. Thank you very much.
Good work. Let's continue with banking. Banks can feel serious, but the language is often simple. You may need to open an account, deposit money, withdraw cash, replace a card, or ask about a payment. Speak clearly and give only the information that is needed. John, what do you say when you enter a bank?
I say, hello, I'd like some help with my account.
How do you say that you want to open an account?
I say, I'd like to open a bank account.
How do you ask what documents you need?
I ask, what documents do I need to bring?
How do you say that you want to deposit money?
I say, I'd like to deposit £200 into my account.
How do you say that you want to withdraw cash?
I say, I'd like to withdraw £100, please.
How do you ask about your balance?
I ask, could you check my account balance?
What do you say if you lost your bank card?
I say, I lost my bank card and I need to block it.
How do you ask for a replacement card?
I ask, could you send me a replacement card?
What do you say if your card does not work?
I say, my card was declined, but I'm not sure why.
How do you ask about an unknown payment?
I ask, could you help me check this payment?
What do you say if you do not recognize it?
I say, I don't recognize this charge on my account.
How do you ask how long a transfer will take?
I ask, how long will the transfer take?
How do you ask about a fee?
I ask, is there a fee for this service?
What do you say after receiving help?
I say, thank you for explaining everything clearly.
Now let's practice using public transportation. In this situation, you need to find the correct bus, ask about the fare, check where to get off, and make sure you are going in the right direction. These questions are useful when you are in a new area. John, how do you ask where the bus stop is?
I ask, excuse me, where is the nearest bus stop?
How do you ask which bus goes downtown?
I ask, which bus goes to the city center?
How do you ask if a bus stops near the library?
I ask, does this bus stop near the library?
What do you ask before getting on?
I ask, is this the bus to Oak Street?
How do you ask about the fare?
I ask, how much is the bus fare?
What do you say if you need one ticket?
I say, one ticket please.
How do you ask if you can pay by card?
I ask, can I pay by card?
How do you ask where to get off?
I ask, which stop should I get off at?
How do you ask the driver to tell you?
I say, could you please tell me when we reach Pine Avenue?
What do you say if the bus is crowded?
I say, excuse me, may I get past?
How do you offer your seat to someone?
I say, would you like to sit here?
What do you say when getting off?
I say, thank you, have a good day.
Imagine that you are taking a taxi now. You need to tell the driver your destination, ask about the travel time, and give simple directions. At the end of the ride, you may ask about payment and request a receipt. John, how do you tell the driver where you are going?
I say, could you take me to Central Station, please?
How do you ask how long the ride will take?
I ask, about how long will it take?
How do you ask the driver to use a faster route?
I ask, is there a faster route?
What do you say if you are in a hurry?
I say, I have a train soon, so I'm in a little hurry.
How do you give a simple direction?
I say, please turn right at the next traffic light.
How do you ask the driver to stop?
I say, you can stop here, please.
How do you ask about card payment?
I ask, do you accept cards?
How do you request a receipt?
I ask, could I have a receipt, please?
Now imagine that you are at a train station. You want to buy a ticket, find the correct platform, and learn whether the train is on time. Train stations can be busy, so short and direct questions are helpful. John, how do you ask for a ticket?
I say, I'd like a ticket to Greenfield, please.
How do you ask for a return ticket?
I say, could I have a return ticket, please?
How do you ask about the next train?
I ask, what time is the next train?
How do you ask if you need to change trains?
I ask, do I need to change trains?
How do you ask where the platform is?
I ask, which platform does the train leave from?
What do you say if you cannot find it?
I say, excuse me, I'm looking for platform 6.
How do you ask if the train is delayed?
I ask, is the train running on time?
What do you ask when there is a delay?
I ask, do you know how long the delay will be?
What do you say if you missed your train?
I say, I missed my train. Can I use this ticket on the next one?
Good. Now we are going to an airport. Air travel includes many short conversations. You may speak with airline staff, security workers, and other travelers. You need to show your passport, check your luggage, find your gate, and ask about your flight. John, what do you say at the airline desk?
I say, hello, I'm checking in for my flight.
What do you give to the employee?
I say, here is my passport and booking information.
How do you ask for an aisle seat?
I ask, could I have an aisle seat, please?
How do you ask for a window seat?
I ask, is a window seat available?
What do you say about your luggage?
I say, I have one suitcase to check and one small bag.
How do you ask about the weight limit?
I ask, what is the luggage weight limit?
What do you say if your bag is too heavy?
I say, I understand. I can move some things to my smaller bag.
How do you ask where security is?
I ask, where do I go for security?
How do you ask where your gate is?
I ask, excuse me, where can I find gate 24?
How do you ask when boarding begins?
I ask, what time does boarding begin?
How do you ask if the flight is delayed?
I ask, is the flight still leaving on time?
What do you say if your gate changes?
I say, excuse me, I heard that the gate changed. What is the new gate number?
How do you ask for help finding your seat?
I ask, could you help me find my seat?
What do you say if someone is sitting there?
I say, excuse me, I think this is my seat.
What do you ask a flight attendant when you need water?
I ask, could I have some water, please?
How do you ask where the restroom is?
I ask, excuse me, where is the restroom?
Imagine that your flight has arrived, but your suitcase is missing. You stay calm, find the luggage service desk, explain the problem, and give a clear description of your bag. Calm language makes it easier for the employee to help you. John, what do you say at the service desk?
I say, hello, my suitcase did not arrive.
How do you describe your bag?
I say, it is a large black suitcase with a red tag.
What information can you provide?
I say, here is my luggage receipt and flight number.
How do you ask when the bag may arrive?
I ask, do you know when it might arrive?
How do you ask for delivery?
I ask, can it be delivered to my hotel?
What do you say before leaving?
I say, thank you. Please contact me when you find it.
Now imagine that you are checking into a hotel. You need to confirm your booking, ask about breakfast, find your room, and understand the hotel rules. You can also ask for help if something in your room is not working. John, what do you say at reception?
I say, hello. I have a booking under the name John Miller.
How do you ask when the room will be ready?
I ask, is my room ready now?
What do you say when asked for identification?
I say, certainly. Here is my passport.
How do you ask about breakfast?
I ask, is breakfast included?
How do you ask when breakfast is served?
I ask, what time is breakfast served?
How do you ask about Wi-Fi?
I ask, could you tell me the Wi-Fi password?
How do you ask where the elevator is?
I ask, where is the elevator, please?
What do you say if your room is too cold?
I say, my room is very cold and the heating is not working.
How do you ask for help?
I ask, could someone please check it?
What do you say if you need another towel?
I say, could you send an extra towel to my room?
How do you ask for a later checkout?
I ask, would it be possible to check out a little later?
What do you say when checking out?
I say, I'd like to check out, please.
How do you ask if there are extra charges?
I ask, are there any extra charges on the bill?
What do you say at the end?
I say, thank you. I enjoyed my stay.
Let's practice a healthcare situation now. When you feel unwell, it is important to explain your symptoms in clear and simple language. You may need to say where you feel pain, when the problem started, and whether the symptoms are getting better or worse. John, how do you make a medical appointment?
I say, hello, I'd like to make an appointment with a doctor.
How do you explain that you need an appointment soon?
I say, I've been feeling unwell, and I'd like the earliest available appointment.
How do you ask what times are available?
I ask, what appointment times do you have today?
What do you say when you arrive?
I say, hello, I have an appointment at 10:30.
How do you explain a headache?
I say, I have had a bad headache since yesterday.
How do you explain a sore throat?
I say, my throat is sore and it hurts when I swallow.
How do you explain a cough?
I say, I have been coughing for 3 days.
How do you say that you feel tired?
I say, I feel tired and weak.
How do you explain pain in your back?
I say, I have pain in my lower back.
How do you answer when the doctor asks when it started?
I say, it started 2 days ago.
What do you say if it is getting worse?
I say, the pain is getting worse.
What do you say if it comes and goes?
I say, the pain comes and goes during the day.
How do you say that you have an allergy?
I say, I'm allergic to this medicine.
How do you ask how often to take medicine?
I ask, how often should I take it?
How do you ask if you need to rest?
I ask, should I stay home and rest?
How do you ask when you should return?
I ask, when should I come back for another checkup?
Now imagine that you are at a pharmacy. You want medicine for a minor problem, but you are not sure which product to choose. You should describe your symptoms, ask how to use the medicine, and check whether it can cause any problems. John, what do you say to the pharmacist?
I say, hello, I need something for a cough.
How do you explain your symptoms?
I say, I have a dry cough and a sore throat.
How do you ask for a recommendation?
I ask, what would you recommend?
How do you ask how to use the medicine?
I ask, how should I take this medicine?
How do you ask how many times a day?
I ask, how many times a day should I take it?
How do you ask if it makes people sleepy?
I ask, will this medicine make me sleepy?
How do you ask if you can take it with food?
I ask, should I take it with food?
What do you say if you already take other medicine?
I say, I take another medicine every morning. Is it safe to use both?
How do you ask when to contact a doctor?
I ask, when should I see a doctor if I don't feel better?
Good. Now let's practice customer service conversations. Sometimes a product is broken, a delivery is late, or an order is incorrect. A clear explanation and a polite request usually lead to better service. Describe the problem, provide the important details, and say what solution you need. John, what do you say when returning a broken item?
I say, hello, I bought this yesterday, but it does not work.
How do you explain the problem?
I say, it turns on, but it shuts off after a few seconds.
What do you show the employee?
I say, here is the item and the receipt.
How do you ask for an exchange?
I ask, could I exchange it for another one?
How do you ask for a refund?
I ask, could I have a refund, please?
What do you say if you paid by card?
I say, I paid by card.
How do you ask how long the refund will take?
I ask, how long will the refund take to reach my account?
What do you say if the employee cannot help?
I say, could I please speak with a manager?
How do you stay polite but clear?
I say, I understand, but I would really like this problem to be resolved.
Imagine that you ordered something online, but the package has not arrived. You contact customer service and provide your order number. You want to know where the package is and when it will be delivered. John, how do you begin the call?
I say, hello, I'm calling about a late delivery.
How do you provide your order number?
I say, my order number is 58421.
How do you explain the problem?
I say, the package was expected yesterday, but it has not arrived.
How do you ask for an update?
I ask, could you check the delivery status for me?
What do you say if the tracking information has not changed?
I say, the tracking information has not changed for 3 days.
How do you ask for a new delivery date?
I ask, when should I expect the package now?
What do you say if you need the order urgently?
I say, I need the order before Friday. Is faster delivery possible?
How do you ask what happens if it is lost?
I ask, what can you do if the package is lost?
What do you say after receiving an answer?
I say, thank you for checking. I appreciate your help.
Now imagine that your phone service is not working, you cannot make calls, and your internet connection is very slow. You contact the service company, explain the problem, and follow the employee's instructions. John, how do you explain the issue?
I say, my phone service has not been working since this morning.
What details do you give?
I say, I cannot make calls and my mobile internet is very slow.
How do you ask if there is a local problem?
I ask, is there a service problem in my area?
What do you say if you restarted your phone?
I say, I have already restarted my phone, but the problem continues.
How do you ask when it will be fixed?
I ask, when do you expect the service to return?
How do you ask for a reference number?
I ask, could I have a reference number for this report?
Now let's practice meeting a neighbor. Friendly conversations with neighbors often begin with a greeting, a simple introduction, and a question about the area. You can also offer help, ask about local services, or discuss a small problem politely. John, what do you say when meeting a new neighbor?
I say, hello, I'm John. I just moved into the apartment next door.
How do you ask the neighbor's name?
I ask, what's your name?
How do you respond after hearing the name?
I say, it's nice to meet you.
How do you ask how long the person has lived there?
I ask, how long have you lived in this building?
How do you ask about nearby stores?
I ask, is there a good grocery store nearby?
How do you ask about public transportation?
I ask, is there a bus stop close to the building?
What do you say if you want to be friendly?
I say, please let me know if you ever need any help.
How do you invite the neighbor for coffee?
I say, would you like to come over for coffee sometime?
Imagine that a neighbor is playing loud music late at night. You want to discuss it without starting an argument. You greet the neighbor, explain the problem calmly, and make a polite request. John, how do you begin?
I say, hi, do you have a moment?
How do you explain the problem?
I say, the music has been quite loud tonight.
How do you say why it is difficult for you?
I say, I have to wake up early for work tomorrow.
How do you ask the neighbor to lower the volume?
I ask, could you please turn it down a little?
What do you say if the neighbor apologizes?
I say, thank you. I really appreciate it.
How do you keep the conversation friendly?
I say, I hope you have a good evening.
Now let's practice a job interview. A good interview begins with a polite greeting and clear answers. You may be asked about your experience, skills, strengths, schedule, and reasons for wanting the job. Keep your answers honest, positive, and easy to understand. John, what do you say when you enter the interview room?
I say, good morning. Thank you for meeting with me.
How do you introduce yourself?
I say, my name is John Miller. It's a pleasure to meet you.
How do you answer, tell me about yourself?
I say, I'm a responsible and friendly person. I enjoy helping people and learning new skills.
How do you explain your work experience?
I say, I worked in customer service for 2 years.
How do you describe your duties?
I say, I answered customer questions, solved problems, and helped with orders.
How do you answer, why do you want this job?
I say, I want this job because I enjoy working with people and I believe I can contribute to the team.
How do you describe a strength?
I say, one of my strengths is staying calm when a problem happens.
How do you describe another strength?
I say, I am organized, dependable, and willing to learn.
How do you answer a question about a weakness?
I say, I sometimes spend too much time checking my work, but I am learning to manage my time better.
How do you explain that you work well with others?
I say, I listen carefully, communicate clearly, and respect other people's ideas.
How do you answer a question about difficult customers?
I say, I think there is a small problem. I order a cheeseburger, but this is a chicken burger.
How do you describe a problem you solved?
I say, a customer received the wrong order, so I apologized, corrected the order, and arranged fast delivery.
How do you answer a question about your schedule?
I say, I am available from Monday to Friday, and I can also work some weekends.
How do you ask about the working hours?
I ask, could you tell me more about the usual working hours?
How do you ask about training?
I ask, is training provided for new employees?
How do you ask about the next step?
I ask, what is the next step in the hiring process?
What do you say at the end of the interview?
I say, thank you for your time. I enjoyed learning more about the position.
Imagine that it is your first day at a new job. You need to greet your coworkers, ask where things are, understand your tasks, and request help when necessary. Asking questions is normal when you are new. John, how do you greet a coworker?
I say, hi, I'm John. Today is my first day.
How do you respond when someone welcomes you?
I say, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
How do you ask where your desk is?
I ask, could you show me where my desk is?
How do you ask where to put your coat?
I ask, where can I leave my coat?
How do you ask about your first task?
I ask, what would you like me to work on first?
What do you say if you do not understand?
I say, I'm sorry. Could you explain that again?
How do you ask someone to speak more slowly?
I ask, could you speak a little more slowly, please?
How do you ask for an example?
I ask, could you show me an example?
What do you say after receiving help?
I say, that makes sense now. Thank you for helping me.
How do you ask about the lunch break?
I ask, what time do people usually take lunch?
How do you ask where the break room is?
I ask, could you tell me where the break room is?
What do you say before leaving work?
I say, thank you for all your help today. See you tomorrow.
Now let's practice solving common daily problems. Problems can happen at home, outside, or during work. You might lose something, miss an appointment, lock yourself out, or discover that something is broken. Stay calm and explain what happened step by step. John, what do you say if you lose your phone?
I say, I can't find my phone. I think I may have left it at the cafe.
How do you ask someone to call it?
I ask, could you call my phone for me?
What do you say if the phone is turned off?
I say, it seems to be turned off.
How do you ask a cafe employee about it?
I ask, excuse me, has anyone found a black phone?
How do you describe the phone?
I say, it has a dark green case and a small scratch on the back.
How do you ask to check the lost property area?
I ask, could you please check the lost property box?
What do you say if they find it?
I say, yes, that's mine. Thank you so much.
Imagine that you are locked out of your apartment. Your keys are inside, and you need to contact the building manager. John, how do you explain the problem?
I say, hello, I'm locked out of my apartment.
What details do you give?
I say, my keys are inside and the door closed behind me.
How do you ask for help?
I ask, could someone come and open the door?
How do you ask how long it will take?
I ask, about how long will it take for someone to arrive?
What do you say if there is a fee?
I say, that's fine. Please tell me how I can pay.
Now imagine that a pipe is leaking under your kitchen sink. You contact a repair service and explain the situation clearly. John, what do you say?
I say, hello, I have a water leak under my kitchen sink.
How do you explain how serious it is?
I say, water is coming out quickly, and the floor is getting wet.
How do you ask for urgent help?
I ask, could someone come as soon as possible?
What do you say if you turned off the water?
I say, I have turned off the water for now.
How do you ask about the price?
I ask, could you tell me the service fee?
How do you confirm your address?
I say, my address is 28 Hill Street, apartment 4.
Good. Now let's practice talking about emotions. People often ask how we feel, especially after a difficult day or an important event. Honest but simple answers can help us connect with friends, family members, and coworkers. John, how do you say that you feel happy?
I say, I feel really happy today.
How do you explain why?
I say, I received some good news this morning.
How do you say that you feel nervous?
I say, I feel a little nervous about tomorrow.
How do you explain the reason?
I say, I have an important meeting and I want it to go well.
How do you say that you feel tired?
I say, I'm exhausted. It has been a very long day.
How do you say that you feel worried?
I say, I'm worried because I haven't received an answer yet.
How do you say that you feel disappointed?
I say, I'm disappointed because my plans did not work out.
How do you say that you need some time?
I say, I need a little time to think.
How do you say that you feel better?
I say, I'm feeling better now. Thank you for asking.
What can you say to support a friend?
I can say, I'm sorry you're going through this.
What else can you say?
I can say, I'm here if you want to talk.
How do you encourage someone?
I say, take your time. You don't have to solve everything today.
How do you respond when someone supports you?
I say, thank you for listening. It means a lot to me.
Imagine that you made a mistake at work. You feel worried, but you want to be honest and solve the problem. A useful response includes an apology, a clear explanation, and a plan to correct the mistake. John, how do you admit the mistake?
I say, I'm sorry. I made a mistake in the report.
How do you explain what happened?
I say, I entered the wrong date in one section.
How do you take responsibility?
I say, it was my mistake, and I should have checked it more carefully.
How do you explain your solution?
I say, I have corrected the date and checked the rest of the report.
How do you say it will not happen again?
I say, I will use a checklist next time so I do not repeat the mistake.
What do you say if your manager accepts the apology?
I say, thank you for understanding.
Now imagine that you need to cancel an appointment because something unexpected happened. You should call early, apologize, and ask for another time. John, how do you begin?
I say, hello, I'm calling about my appointment this afternoon.
How do you explain that you cannot come?
I say, I'm sorry, but I'm unable to attend today.
How do you give a simple reason?
I say, an urgent problem came up at work.
How do you ask to change the appointment?
I ask, could I reschedule it for another day?
How do you ask about available times?
I ask, do you have anything available on Thursday morning?
What do you say after choosing a time?
I say, Thursday at 11 works well for me.
How do you end the call?
I say, thank you for your help, and I'm sorry for the change.
Let's practice asking for directions. When you are lost, begin with, "Excuse me," name the place you need, and listen for words such as left, right, straight, near, across from, and next to. John, how do you ask where the post office is?
I ask, excuse me, could you tell me where the post office is?
How do you ask if it is far?
I ask, is it far from here?
How do you ask if you can walk there?
I ask, can I walk there from here?
What do you say if the directions are too fast?
I say, I'm sorry, could you say that again more slowly?
How do you check the first step?
I ask, do I go straight at the traffic light?
How do you check the next turn?
I ask, then do I turn left at the bank?
How do you confirm the location?
I ask, is it across from the supermarket?
What do you say after receiving directions?
I say, thank you very much. That was really helpful.
Imagine that someone asks you for directions, but you are not completely sure. It is better to be honest than to give incorrect information. John, what do you say?
I say, I'm sorry. I'm not completely sure.
How can you still help?
I say, I think it is near the station, but you may want to ask at that store.
What do you say if you know the way?
I say, go straight for 2 blocks, then turn right.
How do you explain a clear landmark?
I say, you will see a large pharmacy on the corner.
How do you say the destination is nearby?
I say, it is next to the pharmacy. You can't miss it.
Now let's practice making plans with a friend. You may invite someone, choose a time, suggest a place, change the plan, or politely say that you are unavailable. John, how do you invite a friend to lunch?
I ask, would you like to have lunch with me tomorrow?
How do you answer positively?
I say, yes, I'd love to.
How do you suggest a time?
I ask, does 1 o'clock work for you?
How do you suggest a restaurant?
I say, we could try the new restaurant near the park.
How do you ask what kind of food your friend likes?
I ask, what kind of food are you in the mood for?
How do you say you are not available?
I say, I'm sorry, but I already have plans tomorrow.
How do you suggest another day?
I ask, would Saturday work instead?
How do you confirm the plan?
I say, great, let's meet outside the restaurant at 1.
What do you say if you will be late?
I say, I'm sorry, but I'm running about 10 minutes late.
How do you ask the person to wait?
I say, could you wait for me near the entrance?
What do you say when you arrive?
I say, thank you for waiting. I'm sorry I'm late.
Imagine that you are renting an apartment. You want to ask about the monthly cost, included services, building rules, and available move-in date. These questions help you understand the agreement before making a decision. John, how do you ask about the rent?
I ask, how much is the monthly rent?
How do you ask what is included?
I ask, are water and electricity included?
How do you ask about the deposit?
I ask, how much is the security deposit?
How do you ask when the apartment is available?
I ask, when is the apartment available?
How do you ask about parking?
I ask, is parking included with the apartment?
How do you ask if pets are allowed?
I ask, are pets allowed in the building?
How do you ask about repairs?
I ask, who should I contact if something needs to be repaired?
How do you ask how long the agreement is?
I ask, how long is the rental agreement?
What do you say if you need time to decide?
I say, thank you for showing me the apartment. I'd like a little time to think about it.
Now imagine that you need to ask your landlord about a broken heater. The weather is cold, and you need the problem fixed soon. John, how do you explain the issue?
I say, hello, the heater in my apartment is not working.
How do you explain when it stopped?
I say, it stopped working last night.
How do you explain the temperature?
I say, the apartment is becoming very cold.
How do you request a repair?
I ask, could someone come and repair it today?
How do you ask when the worker will arrive?
I ask, what time should I expect the repair worker?
What do you say if you will be at work?
I say, I will be at work until 4, but I can be home after that.
Good. Let's practice a few more everyday activities. Imagine that you are at a library, a gym, and a community center. You need to ask about membership, opening hours, rules, and available services. John, how do you ask for a library card?
I say, hello, I'd like to get a library card.
How do you ask what identification you need?
I ask, what identification do I need?
How do you ask how long you can keep a book?
I ask, how long can I borrow this book?
How do you ask about late fees?
I ask, Is there a fee if I return it late?
How do you ask where the computers are?
I ask, where are the public computers?
What do you say if a book is unavailable?
I ask, could you tell me when this book will be available?
Now you are at a gym. How do you ask about membership?
I ask, could you tell me about your membership options?
How do you ask about the monthly cost?
I ask, how much is the monthly membership?
How do you ask for a tour?
I ask, could someone show me around the gym?
How do you ask about classes?
I ask, what exercise classes do you offer?
How do you ask if beginners can join?
I ask, is this class suitable for beginners?
How do you ask what to bring?
I ask, what should I bring to the class?
Now you are at a community center. How do you ask about an English conversation group?
I ask, do you have an English conversation group here?
How do you ask when it meets?
I ask, what day does the group meet?
How do you ask whether you need to register?
I ask, do I need to register before attending?
How do you ask if there is a fee?
I ask, is there a fee to join?
Excellent work, John. We have practiced many useful conversations today.
Yes, we practice speaking in stores, restaurants, banks, stations, airports, hotels, clinics, workplaces, homes, and many other places.
To everyone practicing with us, remember that speaking clearly is more important than speaking quickly.
Repeat the questions, repeat the answers, and practice them in your own voice.
You can pause the video after each line and say the sentence again.
You can also change the details, such as the place, time, price, name, or problem, to create your own conversation.
Keep practicing a little every day. Even 5 or 10 minutes can help you become more comfortable.
Do not be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are a normal part of learning.
Stay patient, listen carefully, and keep speaking.
Your confidence will grow each time you practice.
Thank you for learning English with us today.
We hope these conversations help you in real life.
Keep listening, keep repeating, and keep speaking English.
We will practice with you again soon.
Take care and have a wonderful day.
Goodbye, everyone.